I went to high school that had over 3,000 students, and I still had a hard time making friends. My shyness hindered me from interacting with other students. It went as far as me hiding on lunch breaks and playing cards on my cell phone. High school was a little bit painful, to say the least. After sophomore year, I decided that I needed to do something about it. I needed to do something where I could learn how to socialize and make friends. I decided to do an exchange, a study abroad. My exchange not only changed my life, but who I am today. I now have friends all over the world, and I have successfully held a job for the past 10 years where I have to socialize to make a living. Study abroad affects everyone differently, but I believe it is almost always a very positive and beneficial experience. So what is study abroad? The literal meaning is the act of a student pursuing educational opportunities in another country, but it is so much more than that. It's the opportunity to find who you are, like it did for me. It's the opportunity to make lifelong friends with people who couldn't be more different. It's a chance to develop skills that will be beneficial for your professional future. It's a chance to see beautiful foreign scenery, but most of all, it contributes to creating tolerance and understanding in the world. The program that I went through is called Rotary International. They promote the program by saying the exposure to new cultures and customs is a powerful way to promote global understanding and develop peace. And it's not just the students who benefit. Developing international relationships provides a way to understand how different countries and cultures work and how they affect the rest of the world. I did my exchange in Brazil, and it was pretty amazing. It was a great chance to represent my country, and it gave me a chance to fight stereotypes and dispel misconceptions. For example, I had the chance to correct some lies that were told through their media. On my exchange, I learned that most Brazilians, at least ones that I met, thought that all Americans were money and oil hungry. I was able to tell them that groups existed in the U.S. That fought big oil companies. Their news and media didn't show the environmentalists and the protesters. So that was a good opportunity for me to kind of explain how things really are here. It is good to see the influence that your country has on others. I had a geography teacher on my exchange who always gave me a hard time. He hated the United States. One day he brought in an episode of The Simpsons. It was an episode where they traveled to Brazil, and it's like covered in a jungle, and there's monkeys running in the street and naked women all over the place. And he was really upset that that's how he thought that we perceived Brazil. So I had the chance to assure everyone in the class that that was a very exaggeratory show, and that's what I was doing there. I was there to report back to the United States of how things really were, and also tell them how things are here. A lot of Brazilians also think that Americans are just like the movies. They think that everybody is handed everything and that we have just a ton of money. I had the chance to dispel that misconception by telling them my own experience with the fact that I had saved money since I was 7 years old to go on exchange. That was the only way that I was able to go, was through my own hard work. So a lot of Americans do work hard and aren't just handed everything. Closing these gaps in ignorance helps people to create closer relationships because we see that we are all human and we're somewhere than we think. Study abroad is also a great chance to develop international and cross-cultural skills that are attractive for future employers, which is something I think about more as I get older rather than all the parties and fun I had on the exchange. It can expand employment opportunities. Lacey Namarut wrote an article about how corporate recruiters value study abroad experiences. She quotes David Lucy, the recruiting manager for marketing programs, or the marketing company Epsilon, saying, "Global corporations highly value study abroad programs, both due to characteristics and personality types programs foster in candidates, such as independence and self-awareness, but also the experience of living abroad." My mom is also a recruiter for a commercial interior design company, and her job is to look at hundreds of resumes. So I asked her what she thinks when she sees that someone studied abroad. And she says that when she sees that on a resume, she said, for someone to have done this, it shows courage, adventure, risk-taking, confidence, open-mindedness, the ability to handle hard situations, commitment, and the learning of another language is always a plus. If you have those qualities, they are all highly desirable in the job market. She said it's good for employers to see that you've seen how things work on a global scale. Besides being helpful in your future ventures and relationships, study abroad may inspire you to do something different with your life than you originally planned. Oftentimes, people discover newfound passions while abroad. Sometimes it can be as small as seeing how important education is in the world and becoming a teacher. A girlfriend of mine did just that and became an English teacher in Mexico. I have another friend who was an exchange student in West Africa, and he changed his life by dedicating it to building water pipes all over Africa so that rural areas could receive clean water. Many exchange students decide to keep professions with international relations so that they continue connecting with the world. You may be asking how much study abroad costs, and that depends on two things: the program that you go through and where you go. Some programs charge a lot of money and are for profit, but you can also find nonprofit companies that sponsor you and find housing for you, and you only need the cost of a ticket and you're spending money while you're away. Usually college programs will send you for the same price as your tuition in state. As I researched, I found that it's generally about $3,000 to $6,000 per semester. It also depends on where you go, the country and the rate of the dollar. So if the dollar is double, it's going to be more expensive. If it's divided by 3, like it was when I was in Brazil, then it's super cheap. So that's just something you would study before you go. But whatever the amount, if it's doable, it's totally worth it. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I guarantee you guys won't regret it. According to the Chronicle of Higher Education, fewer than 1.5% of college students travel overseas a year, mainly due to lack of encouragement by faculty and advisors. So I wanted to share my experience and express how beneficial and fun it can really be. So I hope I've given you all something to think about. And I'll end by a quote by the author Terry Pratchett saying, "Why do you go away? So that you can come back, so that you can see the place you came from with new eyes and extra colors. And the people there see you differently too. Coming back to where you started is not the same as never leaving."